Welcome back to my channel, everyone. 3Tips here, and today what we're going to take a look at here is the silver cell. If you look down in here, you'll see that I made some bars of silver, of impure silver, on the fly because I ran out of my impure silver shot. So I just made up some bars and ran them in here. And if you look up here at the power supply, the power flow to the cell is erratic, and the slimes that have built up in the anode filter basket there have impeded the flow of electricity. So what we're going to do is we're going to disassemble the cell now and harvest the pure silver crystal. First thing we'll do is turn the power supply off. Then we'll come down here to the cell, and if you notice, I've got two different anode bars. This is my good anode bar, and I pull that out as the silver in the anode filter begins to dissolve and get down into the electrolyte, and I put in another anode bar that's already partially dissolved, so that I can prevent from dissolving my good anode electrode bar here. That's what they look like. That's the difference between the two. Let's get our electrode wires disconnected from the cell now. Just leave them down out of the way. Now I've got a little casserole dish here, and I picked the anode filter basket up with a pair of tweezers here and just put it in this container. If you look in there, there's still some silver, and the slimes will contain platinum group metals and possibly some gold. So I save those filters, and I'll process those later for the precious metals that they contain. Let's take the cover out of the way now, move it. Here's a look at the pure silver crystal down in the cell. And what we do is we pass an electric current through the impure silver up in the anode filter basket, and it travels through that electrolyte. The electrolyte is made out of silver nitrate, and then it plates out as pure silver crystal on the inside of that stainless steel bowl. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to pour the electrolyte off into this container. I want to try to use the electrolyte a second time, so I'm going to save it in this beaker here. I'll try to pour it off real careful here so we don't make a mess. Alright, if you look down in here, you'll see that the silver is a little bit discolored. I'm not sure what that is. I don't trust it to be ultra high purity like I'm normally used to. So what we'll do is we'll take this silver crystal and gather it up, dry it out, and I'll run it back through the cell a second time. I did try to run some silver powder through the anode filter, and it didn't work well. I've never seen the silver discolor like that before, ever. So definitely need to investigate that. But like I said, I'll make up some new electrolyte, and we'll run this crystal back through the silver cell a second time. What we'll do now is I'm going to prepare some additional electrolyte, and the way we'll do that is I've got a container here. I'm going to add some pure silver crystal to the container. I'm not measuring, I'm just going to dump some in here. It's a couple 100 grams. Then we're going to add some distilled water to that. And then I'm going to add probably 200 milliliters of concentrated nitric acid. And we'll put this up on some heat, cover it up, and we'll let this dissolve and use this solution to augment the strength of our electrolyte. But in the meantime, what I need to do is concentrate on getting some of this melted rather, into impure silver shots so we can continue to run it through our silver cell. I got to melt this whole bucket full of cement silver, and we're going to use the big furnace that we built in an earlier video to do that. While I'm waiting for the water to fill up in my 33-gallon drum here, what I'll do is I've got the furnace set up over here. I've got some cement silver chunks that passivated on some copper, and they formed them chunks. And then there's some wet cement silver down here that I rinsed all the copper off. This is wet material, so I'm going to put it in there first. Making a mess. Alright, I took it out and filled it up out of the furnace. So there's our cement silver. Alright, I took the crucible out. I'm going to throw some paper in here. I'm going to try to light this off. Here we go. Alright, we're going to throttle this back a little bit, because that silver is still wet. I'm going to stick the crucible full of silver down in there now. We'll just let this slowly cook in the furnace. I just stuck the crucible down in there. Now what I'll do is put the lid on. I got the flame set way down low, and we'll just let this cook for a while and see if we can get that first bit of wet cement silver melted up. Wouldn't you know it, I just got a rain alert on my phone, and I looked at the radar, and there's one cell moving right at me. Nothing within 100 miles of here. This one cell's coming right at me with rain in it, so I'm gonna have to shut the furnace down and call it quits. If you look in here in the cement silver bucket, I got about maybe a quarter of it done. Here's the last charge. I'm gonna have to get this poured right quick into the water. Here is my silver shot. I'm gonna take a look at that a little closer as soon as we get this all wrapped up. I'm not kidding you, man. It reminds me of that little cartoon with a guy that has a storm cloud following him around. It's almost right on top of me now. I looked at the weather radar. There's nothing for hundreds of miles in all directions. And I'm out here melting metal, and I get a rain shower. Now we'll dump the water out and get our prize. Now I'm going to try to dump it into this bucket here without spilling it all over the ground. I think we got a pretty good haul here. This will be suitable for running through the electrolytic silver cell. And once I get it all dried off and cleaned up. But then what we'll do is we'll use our silver cell to make some high purity silver crystal. Just like this. Here's the pure silver crystal that we dissolved in dilute nitric. Notice that there are no fumes whatsoever. The solution is clear and colorless. And now we know that all the available free nitric acid has been used up in this solution. We'll cool it off, filter it, and we'll reassemble the cell. And then we'll run this last batch of pure silver crystal that's discolored back through the cell a second time and get it cleaned up real nice. Make some nice pure silver crystal. This will wrap it up for this video. I got about 5 pounds, maybe more. I don't know. I can't weigh it yet until I get it dried off. But I've got enough here to last me for months running it through my electrolytic silver cell. And this would have taken me several days to get this much, doing it in a melt dish and with my electric furnace. So the gas-powered furnace really helps out big time doing this particular kind of work. It does kind of scare me still a little bit because I'm not fully acquainted with the little ins and outs of it, but I do like it. I like the speed at which it does the melts. It's dangerous and it's hot. And all right, that'll conclude the video. Thanks for watching.